For University of Cumberlands freshman running back Martize Smith, there's never been a time where the game of football hasn't been present.
Football it's always been a part of my life, and sometimes it was the only part of my life.
At 5'9", 182 pounds, Smith always had his doubters.
My freshman year coach, Scott Jackson, he told me that I'll never be able to play football here because I was too scrawny coming out of middle school into high school. You're too small, you're never going to do it.
Those doubters only made him better.
So that summer, I blocked out all the noise and I went into the weight room and I worked my butt off.
Smith got his chance. First, struggling during an early season game.
I fumbled, and then it's halftime. And I go in at halftime all dejected, and coach is like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I fumbled, coach. Like, I know you don't like that, and I'm sorry, but I can't forgive myself, and I'm kind of destroying myself and tearing myself down because of it." And he was like, "Well, guess what? You're the guy, and that's not going to change. You're still going to be the guy when we go back out of this locker room. Now, I've seen you play ball, and I want you to be the player that I know you can be. Show them the Martize that I know."
With that trust from high school coach Cody Corey, he ended that game with 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. His high school play garnered multiple D1 offers. However, finances proved too big a hurdle. Fortunately, the University of Cumberland's offensive coordinator was at his county all-star game. Smith made a good impression.
A week later, he came into my coach's office and was like, "Hey, son, we'd like to offer you a full ride scholarship." And I committed without second thought.
At Cumberlands, there were 300 freshman recruits, of which he was number 38 out of 40 running backs. An injury forced him out of training camp.
I called my mom crying, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to play. I don't even know if I want to be here."
In a mere 5 minutes of a freshman scrimmage, Smith made himself known, becoming the only freshman to make the travel team. In their first game, Smith unexpectedly was called on in overtime, scoring the winning touchdown.
It was definitely a moment of shock. I didn't know what to do. I stood there in the end zone like, did I really just, out of 40 running backs, out of like 20 who left, and out of the starter and everything, I still was able to win the game.
Smith took his chance and ran with it, cementing his place as the team's go-to running back, winning NAIA Freshman of the Year. If it's up to him, this isn't the last time you'll hear his name.
My number one super true goal is to make it into the NFL. That is my one dream that I want more than anything.
If you do hear the name Martize Smith, make sure you know what he wants you to think.
That's that guy who worked for everything he got.